Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss basic input and output in MATLAB using the input and the disp functions. So let's start a new script to illustrate these concepts. Let me save this and suppose, for example, you want the user who's using your software give you the value of a certain variable. Then you could ask the user to enter this using the input function. For example, I can say x equals input, and then between parentheses, I can give a message for the user. For example, please enter x. And if we try to run this script by hitting the run button, you see the message here appears, please enter x, and I can enter, for example, an integer like 15. So no problem. So x equals 15 as you see here. Let me run this again. And this time I'm planning to enter x as a real number. So for example, 17.435. And if we hit enter, that's also acceptable, no problem. The value of x is 17.435. We can also try to enter a complex number. So let's run again and enter x, maybe 1 plus 5j. So again, that's totally fine. So as you see, the input function accepts integers, it accepts real numbers, and it also accepts complex numbers. Now let's actually test something different. Let's try to give x a character value. So let's actually run again. Let's clear, maybe TLC and clear, and then let's try again. Now I will write that x equals, hello with an exclamation mark. Let's see what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's not accepted. And the problem isn't really here, even if you type hello without the exclamation, so it's still there is a problem that you cannot actually enter character in this way. If you need a character input from the user, you need to slightly fix or add something to the input function. Let's actually get out of this because it's still asking me to please enter x. I can get outside this by doing Control C. Now I have the prompt again. I can CLC. And suppose I am expecting a character from the user, then I have to put comma and s between quotation mark. So that means that I am expecting text. I am expecting a character. So this way, if I run and then I was asked about x, I can enter, for example, hello, and that would work fine, no problem. So I have a character here. It's called hello with the exclamation mark, and there's no problem. So if you need just a number, whether it's integer, real, or complex, you don't need the s, the comma between quotation s. On the other hand, if you are expecting a character from the user, you have to use this. And obviously, it would create an issue if you have the comma quotation s and you try to enter an integer. So let's try here, for example, 13.5. Well, it is not an issue. It has been treated as a character. So 13.5 in the memory of MATLAB, it's not a number now. It's not a real number. It is actually treated as a character because MATLAB now is expecting a character when you put the comma s here. All right, so this is basic input. Let's actually go back to numbers. So I'm going to delete this. We are expecting x to equal a number now. But let's imagine that we did some calculations in this x. For example, the new value of x equals the old one, maybe squared and maybe plus 2. And we would like to display the value of x to the user, show it to the user. There is a function in MATLAB that's useful in this regard, which is disp. So I can type here disp and just value of x between parentheses, and I will see it on the screen. So let's actually test this. I'm going to save and run again. So I'm asked to enter x. Let's say x equals 3, and the answer is 11. You might notice something. It's a little bit annoying to see that please enter X, and you enter 3, and then MATLAB repeats what you have entered, and then it displays the calculation at the end. So this is too much. Maybe I need to hide this. So to hide this, I can put a semicolon here, and if I run again, let's actually clear here to see what's gonna happen. If I run again and I enter 3, I will not see that X equals 3. I see right away the answer of the new X equals X squared plus 2. Right, very good. But now, suppose you want to get extra information, or maybe try to be talkative and informative with the user of your software, which means you need to display a message in addition to the value of X. For example, something along the lines, the value of X is. In that case, you really need to display what is known in MATLAB as an array, but you will display an array of characters. So arrays in MATLAB, let me highlight this, arrays in MATLAB are usually written between square brackets like this. And in a later part of the course, we will discuss arrays in more details. But to learn display, we have to, to briefly discuss them. And if you want to display message and a value of a variable using disp, then you really need to insert these as an array of characters. For example, I can put my first character, again between the quotation marks, the value of X is, and then you need to put another character. If you put X alone like this, in fact, this will create a mistake. You know why? Because this is a character, so no problem, but X is not a character. X is a number. And since this is one array and the disp command is based on an array of characters, then you should really convert X from being a number into a character or a string. And for that, there is a special function for this. So what is this function? It's called NUM to str. It's like numerical or a number converted into a string. So then NUM str of X in this way, in parentheses. This way, the value of X will be converted into a string, which is compatible with this string, and I will see it on the screen. Let's test this together. I can actually bring these a little bit closer now. All right, so let's save here. Maybe let me clear CLC. So let's run. Please enter X. Let's put maybe 3 again. So it says the value of X is 11. You might be a little bit annoyed that is 11 are coming close to each other, because literally MATLAB concatenates what's written here with what is evaluated here or converted to a string here. And if you are unhappy with this, you can, add an extra space. This way, when you run again, let's do this. When you run again, you will see the output nicely formatted. So you see the value of X is 11. You can add other characters. So for example, suppose this X has units. Maybe it has units of kilometer or meters. So I can add another character here, for example, km, and that's basically indicating that the value of X is blah, blah, blah in units of kilometers. So let's actually test this here. I'm going to save and let's run again. Let's say X equals 3. So now it's in kilometers. Again, you might be annoyed, but these are close to each other. Then you will need a space here to make it look fine here. So let's actually try one more time. Run. Please enter X. So let's try 3. So now it looks very nice. So what we have covered in this video is that MATLAB allows you to do basic input or receiving basic input from the user in an interactive way. So your code is interacting with the user and then doing some calculations. And then eventually you can print the output to the screen using the disp command. Input accepts numbers, whether integers, reals, or complex numbers, pretty much everything that's double. If you wanted to accept strings or characters, you need the comma s here, of course not in the script because we are expecting a number here. Disp, if you want to display something, and it really has to be one thing, then you can do it this way, disp x, but this is not really informative, and usually you try to make your code informative. So in that case, you will need to use an array of characters between square brackets. And if you have a number to be displayed inside this array, you need to use the function num to str, and you put whatever number here, and it will be converted to string and display it with the rest of the characters. Thank you so much, and we will meet in another video.